Yamuna Tira Vanachari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada नाम संकीर्तन की ओम ज्ञानतिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरोद्वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामने गौरतुसे नमः हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेशा गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्तकांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिय नीलाचल निवासाय नित्याय परमात्मने बलभद्र सुभद्राभ्यां जगन्नाथाय ते नमः वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So today we are discussing from Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 9, text number 11. Hata putrastatastvastva. This is 6, 9, 11. Hata putrastatastvastva. Juhavendraya satrave. Juhavendraya satrave. Indra Shatru Vivardhasva. Indra Satru Vivardhasva. Machiram Jahi Vidvisham. Machiram Jahi Vidvisham. Hata Putras Tatastvashta. Juhavendraya Satrave. Indra Satru Vivardhasva. Machiram Jahi Vidvisham. Listen.
Juhavendraya satrave. Indra satru vivardhasva. Machiram jahi vidvisham. Hata putrastatastvaśta. Juhavendraya satrave. Indra satru vivardhasva. Machiram jahi vidvisham.
Yes, anybody know?
Ataputrastatastvaśta. Juhavendraya satrave. Indra satru vivardhasva. Machiram jahi vidvisham.
Word by word translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki. Hata putra, who lost his son. Tata, thereafter. Tvashta, Juhava, performed the sacrifice. Indraya, of Indra. Shatrave, for creating an enemy. Indra Shatru, O enemy of Indra. Vivardhasva, increase. Ma, not. Chiram, after a long time. Jahi, kill. Vidvisham, your enemy. Translation. After Vishwarup was killed, his father, Tvashta, performed ritualistic ceremonies to kill Indra. He offered oblations in the sacrificial fire, saying, O enemy of Indra, flourish to kill your enemy without delay. Purport. There was some defect in Tvashta's chanting of the mantra because he chanted it long instead of short, and therefore the meaning changed. Tvashta intended to chant the word Indra Shatru, meaning O enemy of Indra. In this mantra, the word Indra is in the possessive case, Shashti, and the word Indra Satru is called a Tat Purusha compound, Tat Purusha Samas. Unfortunately, instead of chanting the mantra short, Tvashta chanted it long, and its meaning changed from the enemy of Indra to Indra, who is an enemy. Consequently, instead of an enemy of Indra's, there emerged the body of Vitrasur, of whom Indra was the enemy. Seeking the blessings of all the assembled Vaishnavas, so that we can speak something on this verse of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. Especially the verse is about the mantra chanting and the yagyas. So the yagya expert and mantra chanting expert is sitting here and I am giving the class. So seek the blessings of everyone assembled. So we know the discussion we are having, the sixth canto, how demigod Indra first offended Brihaspati, and after offending Brihaspati, his kingdom was taken away, and then after that, to gain back the kingdom, he appointed Vishwarupa as a priest. But again, Indra didn't learn the lesson, and then he killed Vishwarupa also because of his mistake, that he was offering some oblations for his maternal side, for the demons. So here we are saying that a yagya is being performed, and it is really like, now we can understand how much power these personalities have, that they can perform a yagya to kill some person. And nowadays people want to kill anybody, then they hire some shooter or somebody who can go and shoot them or like that, put a bomb. But here they are just sitting and doing some sacrifice, lighting the fire, chanting some mantras, and the potency is there so much that by which they can kill. But we can understand the power of these brahmanas. Of course, that's not the best use of doing the yagya, but we can understand their power. There's also in the Mahabharata also it comes that I think son of Parikshit Maharaj, Janmeja, he performs one yagya to finish off all the snakes from this planet. And then Twashta goes and takes shelter of Indra. Then Janmeja says, now you chant mantras by which Indra will be forced to come in the Yagya Kund. And then the rishis, they chanted the mantras, and Indra was coming down from a heavenly planets and was going to fall in the Yagya Kund, I think. Then Brahmaji comes and stops. Who comes and stops?
That's one of the son of belong to the moon, that family only Sarpas. His daughters.
Now, who comes and stops Janmeja? Huh? Okay, so then Astik Muni is coming. Astik Muni. And then he stops, stop, otherwise the universal administration will be disturbed. So these Brahmanas and their chanting of mantras is so powerful. But of course, this all is nothing but karma-kāṇḍa, because all these Brahmanas who are doing these kind of yagyas, they are not definitely pure devotees of the Lord who are doing and getting involved in these yagyas, because the purpose of yagya is to please Lord Vishnu. Yagya Purush is Lord Vishnu, and the goal of performance of any yagya is to please Lord Vishnu. And we can see that when the goal is not to please the Lord, even small problems, small mistakes can lead to complete devastation. Here in this case, we see that the whole yagya was performed to kill Indra. But what was the output? Just because of a change in pronunciation, Indra and Indra, the small pronunciation change, the whole meaning got changed. And the result was completely opposite. So this is the situation for people who are involved in karma-kāṇḍa activities, that they may be doing things very perfectly, but a small amount of problem can not just lead to not getting the result, but it can lead to completely opposite result. The one thing is that you have done the process very nicely, and because you have done some mistake, the result didn't come. You studied very nicely, and at the end, but one you did your BTech very nicely, all exams you passed. One exam you didn't pass, you don't get the BTech degree. This is somewhat understandable. Okay, you have to do the complete work. But small mistake, even your all previous degrees are taken back because you didn't did your BTech properly. So this is like this karma-kāṇḍa. He at max, if that there had been no result, वो mantra chant किया कुछ नहीं निकलता तो चलता. But rather what has happened? Completely opposite result. Vitrasur is born and is going to be killed by Indra. You see another example of King Nriga. King Nriga was doing so much charity, and he was doing so much pious activities. And then we know the story that how one mistake happened, that one cow which was given in donation, then that cow came back again, and then King Nriga again gave the same cow as donation. So small mistake, and for that mistake then he had to live the life of a lizard in a well, and then Kṛṣṇa came and saved him. So these also we see another example in the case of the dacoits who were sacrificing Jada Bharat. They had come there with an intention of pleasing Mother Kali. Only thing is the mistake they did, that the sacrifice that they brought was a little different sacrifice. Jad Bharat, pure devotee of the Lord. They might have done before sacrifices also, but nothing had happened. But this time they brought a wrong sacrifice, and because of bringing Jada Bharat, Mother Kali was so much angry that she chopped off the heads of all the dacoits. So this is the path of karma-kāṇḍa. Bhagavatam and these examples in Bhagavatam are teaching us that we should not be very much attracted by this process, because small discrepancy can lead to great damage. On the other hand, we see the super excellence of the process of bhakti. Kṛṣṇa is Bhāva-grāhī Janārdana. Kṛṣṇa is only interested in the feelings the devotees have for him. Of course, we should not just say that I have a lot of feelings and not do any service. That's another extreme. But Kṛṣṇa is interested in the feeling. And we see many examples where apparently devotees have done completely wrong process of pleasing Kṛṣṇa, but still Kṛṣṇa has been pleased, and that is being glorified also. We see the example of Lord Kṛṣṇa coming to the house of Vidurani. And what Vidurani is doing, instead of offering banana, she is offering banana peels. Now this is something quite opposite. But Kṛṣṇa is very happy and is accepting the banana peels. And we also see example of Shabri. She is offering Lord Ramchandra the bear which he has tasted, and it is like according to the Pancharatric system of worshipping the deities. This is completely off track. But we see that this is being glorified because of the devotion of Shabri, because of the devotion of Vidurani. So we see that in the process of Kṛṣṇa consciousness, it's very simple. If the desire is to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Kṛṣṇa sees the intention of a devotee, and whatever shortcomings that are there, Kṛṣṇa doesn't look upon into it what are the shortcomings, because Kṛṣṇa is more interested what the devotees have, what the devotees love is for him. We see the demigod worship. In the demigod worship, people are offering, like when the demigod worship is happening, the demigods are not seeing the consciousness of the individuals. Because if the demigods see the consciousness, there is no any love. Like whoever is worshipping any demigod, they don't have love for Durga, Ganesh or Shiva or whatever. They have love for their Dhanam, Janam, Sundarim, and they are going to those demigods and asking those things only. So in demigod worship, the process is very, very important. What kind of mantras and everything you are chanting, because actually there is no consciousness. Well, the consciousness is there only not for the love for demigods, but it is only for love for the materialistic things. But in Kṛṣṇa consciousness, the process The consciousness is more important than the process. Of course, there is authorized process for worshipping the deities, for doing everything, but the technical, if there are some technical mistakes unintentionally that happens while performance of devotional service, that is ignored by Krishna. There is a verse which I don't know the verse, but the translation of the verse goes like this: that in the path of devotional service, even if a person closes his eyes and he runs, he'll attain. Even if you close your eyes and run, you will attain success. So what does that? What does it means that? Of course, we don't closing our eyes doesn't mean that now we can just be frivolous and we are not careful. Closing our eyes means that there are many rules and regulations that are described. Like now we have nectar devotion, 64 principles. So if somebody is unintentionally missing on certain principles, then Krishna takes it into consideration. Then like Krishna sees that okay, this is Krishna forgives that devotee. But of course, we should not use it as excuse for becoming slack in our Krishna consciousness and saying that nah, my intentions are very good and I need not be sincere for practicing the principles of devotional service, because then Krishna will see the intention in our heart, that is that of trying to escape from following the process, from following the rules of Krishna consciousness. And in the process, in this age of Kali Yuga, this process of devotional service given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has been made so simple. Now we just have to chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Now in the previous ages, that the process was of doing yagyas and doing tapasya and 60,000 years of tapasya and so many big yagyas, Ashwamedh yagya and all that. And then Dwapar Yuga, the process of deity worship. But in the age of Kali Yuga, the process has been made very simple. We just have to chant the holy names and we have to develop the mood of service, the mood of humility. Prinadapi sunichena taruropi shreshna amanina manidena kirtaniya sadari. So in a humble state of mind, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is teaching that how one should chant the holy name, and by simply chanting the holy names, one can achieve all perfection. Yes, anybody has any comments or questions? I am out of my points. Yes, Haldanita, if we want to add anything.
Indra is the king of the heaven.
Yes, Indra is the king of the heaven.
Kṛṣṇa is one of dependent one.
Kṛṣṇa is a dependent?
Yes, heaven is the king. Indra is the king.
Yeah.
And all the priests are kind of they are
The Brahmanas are never dependent on the kings.
But in this case, he is using that this Brahmanic let's say
Power.
for killing the king for
Yes.
his own satisfaction.
Yes.
So, how is that means even demigods we say demigods are this thing in the case of
Yeah, so it's not correct what he's doing. It's not correct what he's doing.
it is not correct.
Yeah, that's what we said. For the purpose of yajna should be to please Lord Vishnu.
So why they are first of all is they are he's a Brahmana, right? Kṛṣṇa is a Brahmana.
Yes.
And he wants to kill Indra, who is a king. From that point I want to understand.
So your question is that whether it is appropriate for Kṛṣṇa to kill Indra?
Yeah.
Okay, Haldanita Prabhu, you can comment whether it is. Because you see in the case of, what is his name? Vena, yeah. The Brahmanas, that time they see that, yes, the Vena is not ruling properly. At that time they kill the king. But here, whether they should call the police or take the gun and shoot, that is the yes, Prabhu.
In case of Vena, they
Yeah, that is authorized. That, they give advice also, yes. Yeah, that's an important point. He was giving a lot of warnings. Here, Indra is not given any warning.
he account for it and he was feeling very bad. So, I have done some mistake that I should have done it right. Every number says it's not that he was painting normally. After 1 year, he gave all his reaction.
No, it will come further. Acha, it came already.
Still, he actually had account for his mistake. He repented for it. He said that he purified his bodily elements not from fire. Only limits. The Antakaram was not purified. He only purified the loss of and offering these reactions. Therefore, the sinful states will remain in the heart. The sinful is offending. Therefore, the offended others. We need purification first, something. Then we purify our behavior. Purify our body. We need his purification. He has done atonement and everything for it. So it will not be given such a huge punishment of killing. Think of that. Because Maharaj also was trying to kill because he also 3 times, 17 times actually. Was also to the sons. Till Brahma came and said it.
Yeah. So there was no warning given also. There was no warning given. Unless they want to add something.
One more thing we need to consider is what is the adhikar. First time maybe a Brahmana. Indra is the king of heavenly planets. The authority of this is only Brahma, Lord Vishnu, or Lord Shiva. So you can go complain to them. If you directly act, and when we don't have the adhikar to correct somebody, then the reaction will become more heavy on you. You will be completely destroyed. So on a dharmic level, there is an adhikar also of the person who you can go and correct. So he was trying to do the yajna, but killing yajna. But ultimately then the yajna some problem happened. Because the other Brahmanas knowingly did that. Another reason. They didn't want things to die. The other Brahmanas knowingly did that. He didn't observe that. They were aware. So, because in order to solve your personal problem, you are creating a universal problem, which is not appropriate. So, seeing always things from my own context, what is I have been done injustice, is not universally appropriate. So, that's why the 11th canto towards the canto of 12th canto, sorry, come and the aspect of Vyasti and Samasti. Vyasti is seeing a truth from an individual perspective, not local perspective. Samasti is seeing the truth from universal perspective. So that will also help one to see all the principles from an individual or a local context. It may be appropriate, but I would see from a global context, it will not be appropriate. If Indra did wrong, he gets his reaction, but I don't know, still being probably again he had to coming up and saying the class over which we have again. And eventually, he doesn't learn his lesson, then his time period for being the Indra will diminish and he will get destroyed. But if he first acted upon injustice done to him, he will get a reaction from that. So as a devotee, we are working on action and reaction. He will also be destroyed in the process. So the right responsibility we have done the same here. This is Brahma, Vishnu, and put this request to them. What should I do? My heart is burning, I could do this. Please.
What's the getting the reaction?
He got like, with all the endeavor to get Mithras, and again he got it. He didn't have any other. After that, what happened is we don't know, but everything got leveled. Everything he had to creating Mithras, and Mithras also done it. Last everything.
Sometimes a person who is committing mistake, he uses another power and action. We committed this mistake. Somebody is committing repeated mistakes around me. Offended the many. People are trying to rectify, he was not able to rectify. And the understanding is also on the way. Because he had already committed suicide. He lost his heart. That's how understanding. Anybody who is acting on the material or on the actions and reactions and to enjoy this material, which was so much absorbing enjoyment and often so much including the substances. Brahmanas have that power. Power to the world is acted based on the effect. It protracted all the work of the enemy. The person is very active, not the personal means. Rectifying what plan was the substance was removing the independent terms because of that side. We are taking the responsibility. Power is power. The rules is absolutely required. What rules out of there? In case of Kṛṣṇa also they used for the environment. Similarly, that time Nahusha was so much to Indra. He was not the recruiter. And this approach is requested by the previous wife. Who how the world works. Nobody is not just never done. Indra in this case also. Even if he is making mistakes, again he is making a break. He is getting that direction. That's what I really like. Is much attachment is okay. At the same time, they are relating. Relative means that put in big positions. but he is a very strong inconvenient. But everything that is their positive side, that even if they commit mistakes, they take credit of the matter. So you try to goes for the repentance and shelter, you will also do it. But then he also has to suffer. Clearly says that he underwent repentance. It was more like Christ. It was not giving. Christ means he want to get rid of the sufferings. So he purified his body out of the reaction. The seed was still there. That seed did not at that time, Rudra understood that now he is a Brahmana. He is speaking such a Vaishnava. Speaking such wonderful Bhagavad philosophy. How can I kill him? And some devotees were told that no problem, you kill him, let him back from the exam. Then on the request of other demigods, he did with the hope that Yajna will remove him from the sins and he can serve others. Then again he was
That time he had to go on to
stay and
Stop.
before that lady was chasing him. Anyways, devotional science. Get rid of actions and reactions.
When Prabhu was fighting with the it was duty of Krishna to fight with the non-Krishna. Why he was considering all these things? Because he is the king. He knows the battle. So if we consider the opponent is the enemy only, he may be Vaishnava or whatever. But on the fighting background, his duty is to fight with him.
Yeah, but what is the motivation? That is the important point.
Because he Prabhu came to kill him only.
Yeah, but the motivation to kill was to get the kingdom back. If the motivation is to serve, then it's a different story.
Earlier also he killed Vishnu. You understood it. I killed him, even though he has a mistake. But I killed him out of anger. That's why he got killed. He killed him for a personal fear, because anger. Then you get angry. And any judge who is giving judgment out of envy to the person, he at fault, but you also get judged. So judge has to be very, it has to be that way. But we can get. If he has any biasness, any hate to any party, then even though he is getting the right judgment, he will also get something.
even in modern times, judges they cannot give judgment if there is some relation with the accuser.
If you show any photographs that these guys have been very intimate to this person, not parties, they cannot do it. So they have to be very careful about social details. Anywhere they see if somebody has very intimate photograph with somebody, they show it. Indra understood that I am fighting with this Vatrasura and I have been Vaishnava. After that I have forgiven him. In modern times also the intentions are very much taken into consideration.
Yes.
Not the intention. If somebody is feeling, anybody is instigating that person for feeling, that person also is somebody is saying that is exercise it's appreciable. It's really
So we read one shloka from Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. This is 8:23:16, spoken by Shukracharya. Yes. So this shloka goes like this. Mantras tantras chidram mantratas chantras desha kalara vastuta sarvam karoti nischidram anusankirtanam tava. There may be discrepancies in pronouncing the mantras and observing the regulatory principles, and moreover there may be discrepancies in regard to time, place, person and paraphernalia. But when your Lordship's holy name is chanted, everything becomes faultless. Purport. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has recommended Hare Nam, Hare Nam, Hare Nam eva kevalam, Kalav nasti va nasti va nasti va gatiranyatha. In this age of quarrel and hypocrisy, the only means of deliverance is chanting the holy name of the Lord. There is no other way. There is no other way. There is no other way. Brihan Naradya Puran 38.126. In the age of Kali, it is extremely difficult to perform Vedic ritualistic ceremonies or sacrifices perfectly. Hardly anyone can chant the Vedic mantras with perfect pronunciation or accumulate the paraphernalia for Vedic performances. Therefore, the sacrifice recommended in the age is Sankirtan, constant chanting of the holy name of the Lord. Yagya Sankirtani Praya Yajantihi Sumedasha. Bhagavatam 11.5.29. Instead of wasting time performing Vedic sacrifices, those who are intelligent, those who possess good brain substance, should take to chanting of the Lord's holy name and thus perform sacrifice perfectly. I have seen that many religious leaders are addicted to performing yagyas and spending hundreds and thousands of rupees for imperfect sacrificial performances. This is a lesson for those who unnecessarily execute such imperfect sacrifices. We should take advice of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Yagya Sankirtana Praya Rijantihi Sumedisa. Although Sukracharya was a strict Brahman, addicted to ritualistic activities, he is also admitted Nishchedram Anusankirtanam Tava. My Lord, constant chanting of the holy name of your lordships make everything perfect. In Kali Yuga, the Vedic ritualistic ceremonies cannot be performed as perfectly as before. Therefore, Srila Jiva Goswami has recommended, although one should take care to follow all principles in every kind of spiritual activity, especially in the worship of deity, there is still a chance of discrepancies, and one should compensate for this by chanting the holy name of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In a Krishna consciousness movement, we therefore give special stress to the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra in all activities. Yes, Halanita would like to add something.
Yes, so Srila Prabhupada heavily criticizing the aspect of performing sacrifices, performing yajnas. So we should clearly understand the difference, because in Treta Yuga and Bhāva Yuga, especially Treta Yuga, the performing Vedic sacrifices through yajnas is as an aspect for as a Yuga Dharma. In Kali Yuga it doesn't work like that. So performing big yajnas like Rajasuya Yajna and whatever, Soma Yajna, this Yajna, all kind of sacrifices, they don't yield the result because it requires very high qualification. But at the same time, Prabhupada himself mentioned us that one has to perform sanskaras. So the sanskaras also involve performing other activities. Here, as Prabhupada also pointed out, Srila Jiva Goswami mentioning, one should be very careful for following the rules while doing all activities of devotional service, especially in deity worship. So just because I am chanting the holy name doesn't give me lenience not to follow any other law. There will be no culture there. When you don't have a culture, you create your own culture. It's like the Western culture. So once the culture is Westernized, then your holy name chanting also will not be effective because there is no right intention and will not be established. Because at least you require the level of goodness to elevate to pure goodness. Somebody who has elevated themselves to pure goodness, everything fine. So chanting of the holy name ultimately is in the level of raga. Once going into raga, then you require fixing yourself in by the sadhana. Then you have to follow our principle. It's like a temple meditation. All the activities, smelling the flowers, whatever you are doing, every day, proper stuff. All these activities should be done with proper courage, sincerity. Similarly, you do samskars. If you don't do that, you have to do something. Then you celebrate in your own obnoxious ways. That's what is going on here in everyone's culture. There's a balance. Another place Prabhupada said, all activities in devotional service should be preceded and succeeded by chanting of the holy name. He never said, don't do anything else, just sit and chant. Because that only sitting and chanting or doing Shravana and Kirtana will be possible when one is, completely pure, at least at the level of Bhāva-grāhī, it should be beyond wisdom. Otherwise, then you have to follow principles. What principles is followed? Follow the principles given by the Protoswami of devotion.
So you get into self-centered.
Right? For you. Prabhupada recommended. So devotees must perform samskara.
So what is the difference between the yagyas in the samskaras and
Samskaras come from the Griya Sutras.
from the?
Griya Sutras. For grihastha to follow. And these Soma yajnas come from Shauta Sutras, which is the benefit of everybody in the world. Griya Sutras are one's own purification and benefit. So though holy name is sufficient to take back Godhead, then why one has to take initiation over its place? Why you need to take initiation? Holy name is enough take one back to Godhead. Why?
Because you have to follow the Pancharatra system for getting purified. Because the mind and senses are not pure.
So, because the conditioned soul is attached to his own material body. In order to give up attachment quickly, then it's like a catalyst, a reaction. If you don't add a catalyst, it will go on, but it will go on like so slowly because there is no activation of the process. So initiation and surrender to Guru and performing all the Pancharatra activities help you to give up that material identity, the I am. Next, please, your process. Surrender to Kṛṣṇa, develop your love. All the activities of samskara are especially recommended for grihasthas because grihastha means my home, my children, my family, my. So, all those also should be purified. And why is a sannyasi Prabhupada had to do marriage? Did you ever see anyone in sannyasi Prabhupada married? Why did Prabhupada do? It's an apparent transgression. But there is a higher principle and nobody is he can carry out. If they are they will guide you. as teaching. So we had taught, and we didn't do it so much later. The very first day, we saw devotees and they came to Kṛṣṇa, they were like, "Hey, you are unmarried." It's not a man. You got a children. Vidya, you got education, childhood, learning. If we don't focus on giving samskaras, there's already somebody else focusing on them, giving the material samskara. So that's the biggest mistake among devotees. That they are so worried, oh, I'm chanting, everybody is chanting, everything will be correct. And then one mind, when you're right, your child is no more interested in. But the samskaras, material samskaras covered. Every practice is never lost, but more and more material coverings.
But like why fire sacrifice is done in the samskaras, like in the, let's say, Griha Pravesh or
Agni is one of the witness. Prabhu mentions, in front of Agni, in front of the spiritual master during the initiation, the seventh time. And Guru Arka, Guru Arka, something like that. So in front of the Lord, in front of the spiritual master, in front of Agni, and you promise. So, and he is the carrier of all the offerings to the Lord. That's the way you do. When you cook the offerings, you offer to deities, and uncooked ones, you raise it or you offer Agni. That is the described in the Lord.
like in marriage ceremonies, Prabhupada did fire sacrifice. In initiation, Prabhupada did fire sacrifice. Yeah, other samskaras also Prabhupada did fire sacrifices.
But we didn't establish so much other. We mentioned we do all the Dasharata Sanskaras everybody should do.
Because in opening of Krishna Balaram temple, the fire sacrifice is being done by.
Because we don't accept that our devotees said that this chanting Hare Krishna is the way. And our devotees didn't know how to do it. The local Hyderabad temple is called South Indian temple because our devotees nobody learned. Our acharyas gave how to do it. And it's explained and recommended by all the successors acharyas. We have to follow that process.
So if devotees would have known at that time, Prabhupada would have asked them to do. That is the point.
There is this one Pranagopal Acharya from Radharamandam. He gave an interview to one Mataji, Prabhupada disciple. She just left the world recently. So he was mentioning in an interview in 1975, like when he met Prabhupada along with his father, Balaram or something. They are, I think, one of the favorites of Radharaman temple. So he requested his father, teach my disciples how to follow, how to do sanskara according to Sankriya. And he invited him here 1976. 1976 or beginning of 1977. We are building temple in Bombay, we have to do the installation. After Prabhupada left, they showed the recording. They don't know, other devotees you don't know the Prabhupada. They showed the recording and they are the ones who did moment. He is the one clearly said Prabhupada was calling us because we know how to do according to Sankriya, which is our Acharya. Mind other Vaishnava Sampradayas are one. So we have the other Vaishnava Sampradayas. But we have our own method, which the Acharya clearly writes how to do all the samskaras in such a way, they go very well hand in hand with the Sankirtan. So it will be more effective for us to follow that. Matches and Chaitanya.
Haribol. Thank you for answering the questions. I think we should have put the mic the other side. Okay, so anybody has anything else? Or we'll conclude. Okay. Srila Prabhupada ki, Samveta Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki.